ain't got fucking you ain't got Darkim here to save you now, bitch.
Once again, we're back. I know y'all didn't think that was over. That's with us now. That's a permanent part of the show. Maybe if we get another meme, maybe if we get another meme soon, we might retire that meme. But right now, we rocking with that. So we got the bar in here today. I was born 793rd. Knowledge of love, wise you. What's the signs? I guess y'all all coming over. We gotta wait for everybody else to come off of the Allah School and Mecca page. I know y'all probably been over there doing knowledge. What was y'all doing? How did y'all, Martin Luther King Day, how did y'all celebrate or not celebrate? I've been noticing a lot of controversy the last couple of days dealing with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I really didn't pay that much attention to it myself. I guess we're waiting for a few more people. I sent out some alerts today. We got some alerts. We got caught up. Everybody didn't get their alerts, but we'll be fixing that by tomorrow. That be void. What's the signs? We wait for a few more people to come in before we deal with the topic of today's civilization class. What is the meaning of civilization? We got some high scientists in here that know their degrees. But of course, as we're prone to do here on the Random Jews channel, we're not going to just stop there. Edward Green. Just heard a whiff of the media addressing the Voting Rights Act. I mean, a lot of that Voting Rights Act stuff is a little bit, it's, who you gonna vote for? You know what I'm saying? It's, everybody can get out there. And, I fought for your voting rights. And I'm not saying that that's not important. But like I keep pointing out, that's just the kind of retail end of politics, where you just when you go to the supermarket, you can choose from what's there. Maybe even in your entire area, you may not have access to certain things. You don't have anything to do with the packaging that it's in. You don't have anything to do with the cause, how it's marketed, how it's processed, etc., etc. You know what what I'm saying? So for me, it's with the entire, how people are going to politics is much more important than voting rights, because we see small groups of people. You see people exercising power through the government, right? That doesn't match up with their population. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in order for you to affect certain things through voting, you gotta somehow be able to at least affect the majority if you're not the majority. But we see, different groups. Some groups is, is point, you know, less than 1%. In fact, perfect example. Look at the 1%. Look at how much power they exercise through the government, even though they only 1% of the population. So, it's telling me that it's a lot more to that game than just voting rights. And DeBar brings up a point right here that it's a political talking point, exactly because you have people that's their entire platform. You know what I'm saying? Voting rights, but then, what are the policies? Like if people exercise their rights and vote for you, what are the real policies that you're about? Because you can use voting rights to get in there, and then the actual work that you do is against every other right. Now I was born Allah, Asiatic forever. Now as Allah said, just heard that it's been hard in New York City just to get toilet paper and mayonnaise. Well, I don't eat mayonnaise, so I wouldn't be sure about that. It's getting rough out here. The I guess this kind of silver lining here is that we went through it in 2020. Felix Almanzar, yeah, that's another whole world over there. Natural understanding, true self. The bar says civilization is to come together in one accord, coming together in one mind, knowing God. Some of the other definitely we want to get into some of these other things like that, because there's some things, there's a lot of things in the lessons that you just gotta look at it. See, that's the good thing about having your lessons on a cap. You ain't gotta look at it on the paper. You can look at it right here. You know what I'm saying? But when we deal with what is the meaning of civilization, right? Let's get into the live. Let me show you where I'm going with this today. Because I'm pretty sure we had this title before. We did a lot of lives. But, see, when you say, what is the meaning of civilization, right? See, what is the meaning of your civilization? See, by that, what I mean is this, right? You know, what are the things, right, that's a part of your civilization that you even consider civilized? So, for instance, right now, right, you know, in Hawaii, a part of their civilization is that they come together and show each other supreme equality over a pig. That's their civilization. That's what they do. See, in some places, right, their civilization is to fight each other. Their civilization is death, hell, and destruction. And any diplomacy that they deal with is strictly for the purpose of getting more soldiers to do more death, hell, and destruction. So, do you really know what is the meaning of your civilization? Or you just got, see, that's the thing with the lessons. So you got a skeleton right there. You know, you got a couple of descriptions, you got a couple of situations and circumstances for you to look at as an example, you know, and then you can see how to move through the world in real time. But see, that's what it's telling you that, look, who is the 5%? It said also civilized people, right? Yeah, what you mean by that? What you see, some civilizations, right, is based on warfare. All of them, you know, civilization, they more than likely they're gonna have to deal with some type of warfare, right, in order to establish themselves. But I'm saying some civilizations is based on warfare. Some is based on religion. And see, these is all the different things that we can acknowledge, right? That there's neighbor nations out there. There's neighboring nations, you know, nations that border us on all sides. You know what I'm saying? We see what their civilization is, and we know what our civilization is and what it means. You see, so this is, you know, there's certain things, look, there's exchanges amongst civilizations. There's exchanges of, you know, people, DNA, there's exchanges of goods, services, you know, language, etc., etc. But when we really get to the signs where you say, what is the meaning of civilization? Yeah, one having knowledge, wisdom, or understanding. Knowledge, wisdom, or understanding of what? See, that's why it's really a very specific thing. And it's not a general thing. And it's not a thing that you can get from the certain catchphrases. which, you know, people language, they lingo that they use, they, how you say, colloquialisms. And, you know, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that, you know, yeah, I gotta get that t-shirt. I gotta get that t-shirt made up. Got Supreme Justice, Minister Freedom, Zakallah. But see, that's the science, man, that we dealing with right now, right? Specifically, right? This is why it becomes important, right? First of all, because we in a we a nation within a nation, right? A culture within a culture, right? But then within that greater culture, right? There's 10,000 other cultures within that major culture with us. So now, that's what I'm saying. What is the meaning of your civilization? Is it just that, yo, you know, you was you was born in this particular area, you know, in this particular block, this particular borough, this particular city, whatever it is? You know, so then, you know, you can think about that. You can say, all right, well, what's my real purpose of being here? When you really, you know, anything that it is you're doing, you know, you might sit back and evaluate and say, what's the meaning of this? What am I really doing here? And decide you want to make a change. But see, when you say, what is the meaning of this particular civilization that we dealing with? Now, what is the meaning of the degrees? Now, what is the meaning of what, you know, you hear people talking about? What is the actual meaning of that civilization? What is it that those people right there consider civilized? See, there's other people that's like us in a lot of ways. There's civilizations that share, you know, uh, every civilization that's on the island, they deal with seafood. That's a part of their culture. People that live places that's more landlocked, not so much. Not that it don't exist amongst them, but it's not going to be as strong a part of their culture. So if you don't really know and you can't tell the difference, right? That's when you find yourself confused. See, because first of all, right, if you don't know who you are, you don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. All the other answers is moot. Like if you don't know who you are, what difference does it make where you at? What difference does it make? So this is how you see people uh, confusing themselves because you're not really aware of, you know, especially one thing you gotta observe about the 5%. At least, you know, the way it worked is the way it still works, but it was much more prevalent. You know, we make this decision when we children, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And see, when you come into the knowledge here's something you gotta realize. When we say supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet is a language, this is in a whole other language. It's in a whole other language that you gotta understand that language before you can even understand what we're saying. And see, you got a lot of people that it's like, they deal with the bare minimum. Like over the years, once you get to be a grown person, probably by your mid-20s, all these people fall away. These different people, you never see them again by the time you get to your mid-20s. But that cat that he's on the understanding degree in the 1 of 14 for like 7, 8 years. Like just the whole time, like he elevated up to that degree, and then that was it. Some brothers on they 1 of 36 for their whole career. Because they found a minimum place, right? That's like everybody here, nobody know 120. So if everybody else know 1 of 36, I'm gonna learn the 1 of 36 and then stay right there. See, those people, they never actually learn what they dealing with. And so it's easy for you to, start to bend on your square. See, there's a certain science to our civilization and what it's about and what we teach. Other people, they can have their civilization and we can respect them and hopefully they respect us. But we know what the meaning of our civilization is, and hopefully they know what the meaning of their civilization is. See, these are the things that people don't understand. These are the things that people, they see it on TV. They see it in videos, they hear it on music. See, a culture is a very certain specific set of things. See, if you go to a Chinese restaurant, right? Chinese restaurant and the Italian restaurant both serve noodles. But if the Chinese people give you the Italian style of recipes, you'd be like, this is horrible. It could be great Italian food, but you went there for Chinese food. That's a specific culture. Just because it looks the same, it sounds, it's not the same. Because just it looks the same, it sounds the same. The ingredients, that's on paper. But when it comes time to live it out, it's not the same. Shout out to our brothers in the NOI. I love y'all. But see, a lot of times people try to mix us with them in different venues, different, listen, no, we're not the same. they're not teaching what we teaching. You see, if you unaware, if you never really get to the true science of what it is that we dealing with, you're not gonna know that. See, just like if you just oh, this is noodles, yeah, I could just use my Italian recipes and give it to these Chinese people. Chinese people don't eat cheese. I just came from the Halal Chinese over there on 4th Avenue. Shout out to the Halal Chinese over there, 4th Avenue in Atlanta. Actually, that's 4th and Dean, but y'all get my drift. They don't have cheese. Because their culture is a very specific thing. See, and it's very easy, right, for people to, assume that everything we dealing with is similar to everything else. And it's very easy for people to always say that, that science is good, but y'all need to elevate it. It's gotta, y'all gotta, what? It's just, it's so basic. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. If you want to fly out there, go fly out there. You want to dig down there, go dig down there. You want to swim out to the deepest point in the Marianas Trench, go swim out there. You see, this is, for those of us who know the science of what we're dealing with, we able to elevate and understand this basic science right here. See, a lot of people think we freestyling. We not freestyling. It's that we're people that's practiced the basics so much that, we could be out here moving now where you like, man, it just look like he's doing his thing and he's doing his thing. No, it's because we're so schooled on the fundamentals that now we can improvise. It's like a jazz musician that improvises, not just somebody who don't know how to play, so they just start freestyle. No, they somebody who's very well versed, so well versed in the fundamentals that they can just flow with. The combinations of notes come to them so quickly because they're so practiced in it that they able to just make it, just make it right. So that's what happens. But it's because we only dealing with basics. Listen, we only supposed to be teaching babies. Like I said, those of us that, we internalize it and we understand it, yeah, we can take it to the halls of whatever university, to the UN, wherever you want to, whatever world you want to talk. But it still has to be so basic that the very people who see, that's who gets left out. This thing has become debates between all these scholars and shit. But that's not what we talking about. That's not the meaning of this civilization. Debating between those scholars. This is for, a 14-year-old kid that's headed in the wrong direction. And somebody, grab you by the neck and screw your head back on right. You understand what I mean? And then by the time you 15, you Darkim Be Allah. But that's not going to happen with all this, universe. Nah, it had to be just like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe you may be in a different place in a different time where the way you have to apply the mathematics to teach the babies in that place, whatever, maybe 10-year-olds that, have the patience to listen to your dissertation. Maybe 13-year-olds that are concerned with why they don't feel the planet spinning. If you do, you know what I'm saying? Uh, if handle that business. Go out there and start something to deal with them. But see, like I said, man, look, our duty is amongst the deaf, dumb, and blind. As soon as you see somebody who their duty is, we need to reteach the gods. See, right there, you're dealing with somebody that's a little bit different. At least different from me, right? And what is the meaning of our civilization? See, we got a couple more. Complete came in. There's lots of things. Like I said, people, everybody choose what they want to choose. Be who you want to be. You see, especially when you say something that it's like, okay, we the last man standing. Like, to my knowledge, right? If anybody knows of another group, let me know. Right? Any other group that started in the grassroots, the streets, whatever you want to say, at the same time when we started, and they still around right now in that original form. No breakups, no, and listen, shout out to my brothers, man, whatever way of life you want, but look, no sets, no sex, no churches, no discontinuation, we the new 5%. It's the same people. Don't get me wrong, because time has passed, you know what I mean? We down to not many Mohicans left. I'm talking about the original Mohicans. Like I've been telling y'all the whole time, that's one of the reasons why you gotta come around. Because, we being shredded right now. You know what I'm saying? Almost every time you look on Infinite's page, it's, memorial to another brother or sister. And it's good that Infinite is doing what he's doing, right? But listen, sometimes before I'm getting ready to do the class, right, I be thinking, like just now I was just thinking, all right, what we gonna do the class on, right? And sometimes I be thinking of something, right, and then by the time the show start, I get going, I don't recall to say that. You see what I'm saying? And then sometimes after the show was over, I think I should have said that. You see, that's the difference between you walking and talking with somebody every day, and you come, one time. Even if you just come to the rally one time, you know that you met that person one time. And yeah, that guys got supreme quality. They, you know what I'm saying? They, so may have felt very, but you didn't really get the granular everyday experience. So that's why even with these videos, man, see, even y'all, I'm sure sometimes, right? You be at work and shit or something, or you just happen like boom, you gotta pick something up for your mom and run that across town real quick, and you think of a question to ask me. You're like, yo, tonight, when I get on the live, I'm gonna ask the guy that. And then you get on the live and you can't even think, you're like, damn, what the fuck I wanted to ask the guy. See, you're not gonna get that unless you walking and talking every day. And see, that being the case, what I'm saying is us having this strong line, right, of just history, constant history, of never, just our existence itself. Because what's one of the first things that happen that caused people to splinter? Something happened to the leadership. See what happened to our leadership? Even that ain't break us down. So now, when you come and start telling us to change, and then you making it seem like we being ridiculous for resisting said change, for not saying, for at least, having the idea that, all right, listen. It's like right now, you got your car, let's say, right? You got your car, like knowledge drives trucks. Knowledge a truck driver, right? Now, Knowledge, imagine the mechanic just call you and say, yo, y'all want to fuck around with your truck and shit. Like, now, you're like, what you mean? What you got to run? You need me to run something? Like, nah, I got some new tools and shit. I just want to go in there and just move some shit around. Like in the engine and shit, I just want to move some shit around. You're going to say, look, Holmes, my truck is working just fine the way it is. Like, I might need to get some brakes or something. My brakes is getting a little low. I gotta, get that. But, right now, I don't think I want you fucking around under the hood. Now, picture, this nigga ain't even a mechanic. You a trainee, you just somebody that signed up. You took 2 weeks. You took 2 weeks in Apex Tech. Peace.
You ain't got fucking you ain't got Darkim here to save you now, bitch.
I had somebody else gonna come to your class tonight, but I guess he couldn't make it.
Somebody came, but the door, I was in the back, so I had the door locked. And by the time I went out there, wherever they went, I don't know.
It was from Chicago.
I don't know, it could have been. When I came out, I said peace, nobody answered. Where were we in the, nah. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. So a person, right? They want to experiment with the lessons, but I'm saying why are we allowing you to experiment with the lessons? I don't, or with our culture and our way of life, just the way how we view things. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. Some things is for young brothers. Like I told y'all a long time ago, listen, I don't experiment with high explosives. I already know what high explosives do. I don't need to experiment. That's for young people to experiment with high explosives. And yeah, well, what if the sun is really 80,000 degrees? That's not for me. We'll see what happens. See who we got in here. We got some new people came in, but we never know these days who we get, you know what I mean? Because did y'all know that we have people that watch the show just to hate on it? I didn't know that myself. But apparently there's and it's bugged because I never really encountered these people, but every blue moon, it's people that really don't like me. I don't even understand. I don't understand what that's about. You know what I'm saying? But to all the new people that just came in, we were speaking about what is the meaning of civilization, but not from the standpoint of just the degrees. See, because the degrees, it tells you that a 5% is a civilized person, right? It's telling you that 85% is uncivilized people. You understand what I'm saying? It's talking about civilization and all these degrees right here. So it's asking you, what is the meaning of civilization? What do you mean by that? Do you know specifically what you're saying? When you say knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? What knowledge, wisdom, or understanding of what? Like, for instance, I seen some people, these people is Eskimos, right? And they get some kind of fish heads and they put them in a can and let them go bad. They let it ferment, I guess, whatever it is, they let it spoil, right? And they bury it in the ice while it's spoiled to preserve it spoiled. And then they eat it raw. Now, I found out later on, many years later, that it's actually some kind of nutrients that they cultivating when they do that. Because when I first saw it, that's what they said, that when they saw them doing that, they was like, yo, that's savage. Y'all gotta stop that. But what it was is that it was something that, some nutrient that their body was getting, that when they stopped eating that, they started getting sick and dying. And that's happened other places and other times around the world. So when you say, what is the meaning of civilization, right? You know, different people, you teaching different people. You're not teaching, youths that's endangered. See, some people, you over there, you teaching on a university campus. And even when you speak, like if you were, for instance, let's say you were at UCLA, right? You at UCLA on the campus, and you're telling somebody how to deal with confrontation. Like if you get into some type of academic confrontation here with some other, department or something, this is how you handle it. See, that advice is not going to be the same as, if you won Compton or something. See, all this is the science of mathematics, man. This is the science of mathematics. That's why I see it's very basic, because you got to be able to apply it in all these situations. You can't apply it to all these situations once you that's the way we understand the world. Everything else stripped down. We're not going to be doing your rituals and all of that. We ain't going to do none of that. What we're going to do is know who we are. And we're going to move in the world with that knowledge, right? And we're going to deal with other people based on the knowledge of who we are and the knowledge of who they are. We're not going to take things on face value. We're not going to be religious about things, right? Or have religion in us. See, because we left religion, we out of religion. But some of us still have religion in us. See, that's why I said people could come, just like I said right now, I heard about all this controversy, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. See, it's nothing you can really tell me because, see, I'm not religious. So as a non-religious person, I never saw Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or other people, right, as these holy figures. See, the way you have to do if you're in religion, because you have to accept that these people are holy figures, because how did they rise to the level, right, where they could be? See, it's not like this, where Allah said, all right, look, this is the part right here, what I did is knowledge, and showed me who I am. Here, you take that. And matter of fact, here, let me give you this right here to make it easier for you to see what I saw. Or to see whatever it is you want to see. Because if you ever notice that when people fall victim, but let's not say they fall victim, when people move on from the 5%, they always keep the math with them. They always keep the math with them, and they keep the kind of scales of balancing things, the scales of justice. They keep that. Knowledge said, knowledge is awareness, wisdom is self-control, understanding is clear perception, foresight, etc., that allows us to create a way of life where we move upright with positive intentions. See, that's our civilization. That's the meaning of our civilization. See, like for instance, right? You see Sparta? That's a different kind of civilization. Their culture is different. They in the sense of the word, where you saying, see, civilized, right? To say these people are civilized, those people is not civilized, right? That's a European kind of mentality. Like, those people are just them. They're just doing what they doing. If they don't necessarily adhere to our sensibilities, that's what they doing. It's like when they say to take the devil off our planet without falling victim to the devil's civilization. See, yeah, from that standpoint, you would say, well, yeah, he's not civilized. But from the standpoint of saying a culture and a history of a people that they leaving, that's their civilization. See, some of these words, look, when people come into the knowledge, that's what make it difficult for them to realize when it's time for them to go their way. That you could go and found your own civilization. Your Mecca could be where you make it. And for all of those that agree with you, right, that could be their Mecca too. And out of 57,255,000 square miles of land, I think we all, we got enough space. Now it says, so civilization is subjective. Why would you say civilization is subjective? See, I wouldn't say it's subjective. I'm just saying that a civilization, right, a culture is a way that people survive in their environment. So, people that's farmers, they got a certain time that they wake up. They got certain things that they do, certain clothes that they wear, right? Certain foods that they eat. That's all based on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you growing all this corn or whatever it is you're growing, right? That's gonna be what you eating. If you're doing all this fishing, you're gonna eat seafood. If you're a hunter, you're gonna eat meat. You know what I'm saying? So to each of those different individual ways of life, right? The things that the other people is doing is stupid. Like, yo, man, you just sitting here all day, man. You watching this grass grow. Like, man, I got no time for that. I got to go chase down deers. That's what I'm saying, that to say that other people is they not civilized just according to your sensibilities. To see, this is what I'm saying. our civilization, we can't expect other people to be like us and see things like us. So let me give you a good example. When you go someplace to eat, right? You gotta ask them what they put in their food. And it may not just be pig. It's other things I don't eat. You might put too much salt in it. But that's they dishes. That's how you know certain foods, certain just like kinds of food, like cuisine, different cuisine that come from different places. Some places got a lot of sweet stuff. Some places got a lot of salty stuff. Some places got a lot of greasy stuff. Some places got a lot of starchy stuff. Do you see a difference between civilization and culture? Uh, I mean, they could be defined a little bit differently, but no. See me, I'm gonna tell you another thing that's different between me and a lot of other people. See, I'm not of the mind that everybody could be a 5%. But everybody could be a part of civilization. So to me, that's what happens a lot of times. Like people you trying to shoehorn all kinds of people into being 5%. That's not they something else, and it's best that they deal with that. True Self said culture also consists of the uncivilized as well. I mean, some people's culture is uncivilized. Like I'm saying like this, uh, like I said, the Spartans, uh, they destroyed themselves with all that war shit. You know, like it worked out as long as they had people around them to exploit. You know what I'm saying? The Mongolians is not very much evidence of their civilization because they weren't builders. On the other hand, you know, Rome, they did a lot of fucking up. But they were uh, prolific builders. You see what I'm saying? Now, a lot of the cultures that they, a lot of the cultures and civilizations that they, you know, the Romans never really invented anything. Their thing was they was a warrior culture, and whenever they conquered a place, they always took the, you know, know, the engineers and the knowledgeable people, they brought them back to the Roman Empire.
All right, so what you do is call during the daytime, because we're in the nighttime now. Call during the daytime and speak to someone that's at the desk there. You would have to ask them how they go.
Yeah, the Mongols pillaged and plundered. You know, you don't have very much left from the Vikings. One of the reasons, the only reasons why the Vikings is remembered is because their history is fairly recent. Knowledge said, I see culture as the collection of ways and actions that make up a people's get down. Civilized is how they get down. I mean, well, see, you got certain foods, right? Like for instance, uh, Samoan people, right? They descended from people that used to go on a lot of voyages. The that oceanic culture down there, they the most prolific sailors of all time. And so when they was on these long voyages, there's not going to be a lot of food. So people that have a certain type of biology that you know, they can store the food, the nutrients, they can store them until they need them on these long journeys, is going to thrive in that kind of circumstance. So that's why when you see Samoans, a lot of them, well, not, I don't know how many, you know what I mean, but you know, you see Samoans many times, right? They overweight. Because the things, or just like certain foods, you know, you see other people eating it, right? But then it's like, yeah, black people get high blood pressure, diabetes from eating. You understand what I'm saying? So each group of people is surviving with their culture. They surviving, and it's unique. Like I said, we can't, like, suppose right now the brothers in South America, right? The brothers in the Caribbean, they got a new region down there. So suppose the brothers in that region say, listen, you know, we circulating the memo right now that we've decided that wind coast is savage. Because if you're somewhere where it's 80, 90, 100 degrees, that's savage. You about to pass out and die. But see, being from New York, yeah, I would have to enter an objection right here. Because up here, you're not going to be able to survive like that. Complete said, I realized that in Italy, in New York, the Italians get heavy. In Italy, they stay skinny. Same food culture, but different consumption culture. Exactly. Yeah, Samoans is, yeah, they known for being big. And that's one of the reasons, is because they're descended from people who easily stored their fat. You understand what I'm saying? You know, some things, or just like soy. Right now, uh, in America, it's the way they prepare the soy. It causes estrogen to be released by the body. But in Asia, they ferment the soy, and so the fermentation process kills that off. But this other, see, listen, even when it says right that who's the 5% on this poor part of the planet Earth, it's other civilized people out there. There's other civilized people out there. But see, for most of them, they haven't been through this same crucible that we've been through here in the wilderness of North America. So see, that makes us unique in a particular kind of way. But when it say who's the 5% on this poor part of the, there's other civilized people out there. Like this knowledge ain't drop out the sky. Allah didn't go in the cave and talk to the angel for 40 days. We teach that one is knowledge. Something doesn't come from nothing. True Self said, just like the Chinese don't give us the same food they eat in their house, Chinese food is different compared to what we get in a restaurant. Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing too, 793rd, in terms of the ingredients, that you making the meal with in a different place. You know what I'm saying? That's it. All of those are certain things. Or look, here's another example, right? There's some people that was transported in the transatlantic slave trade because of a culture that they had, and they was able to survive in a climate that was very similar to the climates that existed in the southeast United States. See, otherwise, it may not have been able to translate as easy to another environment. Like that's what happened to the Europeans. The stuff that they was growing was designed for the European climate. They season work over here. Complete said the pizza in Italy was terrible. What is that's wild. The pizza in Italy was horrible. I can't even. That sounds crazy. Like what was it like too salty or something? How could the pizza in Italy be horrible? You know what that means? They've been giving us some bullshit over here all this time. Man. It was like they made it on pita. Oh, so the bread was, yeah, you know, that happens. Where that might have been the original, Nathaniel Brown said pizza is not Italian food. Where's pizza from? But see, all of this stuff right here, see now you getting into culture. See now you getting into culture, when you talk about, look, this is how people do business, this is stuff people do in their house. See, just coming on here saying, you know, yeah, peace, God. Yeah, God, no doubt, God. Yeah, you going to the store, God? Yeah, God. Yo, God, bring me back a water, God. And we was building. That's not the culture. You said pizza is from America? Complete said pizza is Italian since 1000 AD. I mean, that's what I heard, that, you know, maybe the specific formulation, you know, because that happens where, you know, if you got a product and, you know, just like there's kinds of juice that we, in America, we've only tasted that juice with sugar in it. But the people who, you know, eat that juice or drink that juice or eat that fruit, wherever, they never put sugar in it. You know what I'm saying? Like chocolate. You know, the chocolate that we get here, you know, the milk chocolate with a whole bunch of sugar in it, that's not the chocolate they was drinking. In Italy, they eat pizza with forks. Yeah, y'all going in, y'all. But like I said, look, you see how we know all these things about all these other cultures, right? That's what I'm saying. Ask anybody what get into the details like this of our culture. Like, see how complete he added that on. And see, he was in Italy. And how being in Italy, the experience of the same thing is a little bit different. Where you get to see how it really goes down. Not when we, you know, fix it up, when we dress it up for the internet or TV, the rally, all these different things. Do people really know? Do people really know what it is that we dealing with? Because of all the things, I mean, listen, does anybody know how many degrees we'll have left? Let me not even get sidetracked. I mean, I'm not really, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Nathaniel Brown. You know, a lot of things was, uh, see, things got commercialized in America. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, for instance, uh, you got the hot dog. It's supposed to be from Frankfurt, Germany. You know what I'm saying? The hamburger is supposed to be from Hamburg. But a lot of these uh, things that we eat, this kind of American food, like you said, this kind of American food, like hamburgers and French fries and pizza and this type of stuff, is uh, you got a couple of dynamics. One dynamic you got is that these is all people, these is immigrant people that's coming to America. And they got certain recipes at home. They in America, they heard that, America is where you go and do business. So they opening up their restaurants, but they opening up their restaurants to people from these other places. So they have to, you know, kind of make some kind of flavor that's going to appeal to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Another big thing with American food, believe it or not, is the depression. Like like for instance, the Chicago style pizza, they got all that stuff on it. That's because the pizza is supposed to be a whole meal. Or those hot dogs that got the sauerkraut and all that stuff on it, that's from the Depression, where that's like a complete meal. Yeah, sloppy joes, etc., etc. This is all a little bit of food, you know what I'm saying, that, what's this you said? Oh, yeah. So, now I'm not hating on deep dish pizza. I'm just saying that a lot of these things, that's the phenomenon. So yeah, it's a lot of things have been uh, you know adjusted for ingredients that's available. You know what I'm saying? Even in terms of a lot of dishes that is we call it soul food, right? Those is dishes that people just substituted the ingredients for dishes that they already had. Bless your luck. Most cultures, most cultures have their own food, but yeah, that's what we say. Now look, and that's the point. Now look, what is the meaning when you say what is the meaning of civilization, right? Yeah, on paper it says boom, this name or this little description right here. But see, even the ingredients that's available to you, right, in the place, because look, the ingredients that's available to you, right, that's a part of your culture and your civilization. That's a part of the planet that you've chosen for yourself. That's what you consider the best part. Which part is the best part? Depends upon what you want to do with it. If I want to run the devil away from me, the desert is the best part for me to do that. But Shalad, you hit me up after the class. Nathaniel Brown said only poor people have soul food. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know where the name soul food came from. I didn't know necessarily that I had to deal with poverty, but nah, I don't. I think this is, well. I say this. Uh, my always understanding of that, right, was that black, that was one of the things that illustrated that black people in America wasn't allowed to have a culture. You see what I mean? We don't have things that we do that's unique to us, right? That we can market to other people. You know what I mean? We have one or two things, music, uh, that ends up eventually being taken from us. But right now, for me, right, I still feel, it's a little bit. I feel a little bit funny when I go into to the pizza shop now, and it's all Mexicans cooking the pizza. You see what I'm saying? Like Chinese people, they come to America and sell Chinese food. Italian people come to America and sell pizza. Irish people come to America and sell whiskey. You know, everybody has their different culture. Arab people come here and sell oils and incense and all that stuff. We don't have things that we're able to market, first of all, because of what people is told about us. You understand what I mean? Other people don't look at us that way. So, for instance, you heard Claude Anderson say that you never see no Chinese people get out their car in the hood talking about we going shopping, in the black area in specific. You know what I'm saying? Like you see, like, well, at least in New York, you got people that take a special trip to go shop in Chinatown. Or you got people that come from around the world. They changed it now, but they should come from around the world to buy Italian shoes on 8th Street. But you don't see German people up on 125th Street like, yeah, we gotta get some of that Harlem cuisine. So what's this? Nathaniel Brown said, if you go to a Dominican, Brazilian, etc. ghetto, they'll feed you soul food for the same reason you said they cook with what. So what is soul food then? Because I always thought it meant, like the amount of love that is cooked with. Yeah, Sylvia's. You right about that. Sylvia's, but Sylvia's on the other hand is you. I'm not saying that's how they started out, but they commercial. No, no, you said yes. I'm saying what is the reason that they call it soul food? But I'm just saying that we'll get back to what I was saying while you answering that is that there's nothing that what product I could be. Let me ask the question: what product comes from what product comes from Black America? You know what I'm saying? Like you got shoes that come from Holland. You know, you know, every place they got something that they produce. You know, this is the basis of you know, the world trade and everything. Yeah, see, complete. I didn't want to say that. Complete said labor. Complete said labor. I didn't want to say that, but look, that's the actual fact. No, Yeezys don't come from the black community. But complete, when you go back to the triangle trade, yeah, that was, you know, other places or other people, right? That was, you know, involved with the trade. They produced goods. You said fashion, style. La Illuminati says style, flavor, swagger, aka soul. Listen, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, what do these things add up to? You know what I'm saying, on the world stage. You know, in the grand scheme of everything, what what does swagger equal? See, especially in this day and time, and I think that's the problem. Not the problem. That's a problem that brothers have, is that right now swagger don't really get you nothing. Like, see, 30 years ago, being a nerd was not as lucrative as it is right now. I got time. You gotta have that there. It wasn't as lucrative at that time to be a nerd. You know, I wouldn't even say a nerd, but just you know, just that you use the word swagger. So I'm thinking about people who don't have swagger. You know, but you don't need swagger to design. Like I'm saying, I've never detected any swag, say in Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. Not very much flavor. You know, see, again, you like to think there's a black person behind all these fashions, but I mean, what is that? You know, what is that? What is that adding up to? So God's favorite said it equals millions. We don't know how to capitalize. I mean, but see, that's because it's not a product. Like, people be trying to gas each other up with that now. Where you got, you know, dudes who come on the internet and tell you, look, I'm gonna sell you the swagger. You know, I'm gonna sell you how to have swag. But I don't know if it works like that. You know, I mean, maybe I don't know if it works like that. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it's the actual goods, the product that the marketers convince you embody this kind of swagger. As you say here, La Illuminati, in actuality, someone else's ability to sell it. More often, we attempting to sell it ourselves. Now, as Born said, in this day and time, swagger is really how close you can imitate white folks. Born said, I'm sure behind a handful of this technology in today's civilization is low-key thought up by young black super smart kids. It transcends just clothes and music. I mean, I see what y'all saying, but I think y'all fundamentally uh, missing something about capitalism. And uh, you know, I like to look at it in terms of the music industry. You know what I mean? Is that, see, you gotta have something to exchange. I'm telling you, just psychologically. This is really for the city science. This is city science. You see, you gotta have something to exchange. It's psychological. See, that's why on social media you got all this like buttons and all this shit. You gotta exchange something. You see what I'm saying? Like if you get something, like, oh shit, you fuck with it. You see what I mean? Because you got something, even if it was just a peanut. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, the pants is really, they don't care what it is. Meaning, like, look, a couple years ago, they're selling people the bell bottoms. Well, it was more than a couple years ago now, but you know what I'm saying? In a different time, they're selling people bell bottoms. Now they're selling people skinny jeans. They don't give a fuck what it is. If you bought a pair of pants where one leg was a plastic bag and the other leg was a burlap sack, they'll sell it to you and slap whatever name you want on it. You gotta have something to exchange. Just saying you got swag, yo, I got swag, give me money. It don't work like that. I'm telling you. It's you know. We'll come back. Let's come back to random jewels. We turn the page real quick over there. But y'all brought that up. See, the colored man understand that type of psychology. That's why when he came, look, here, let me give you these trinkets. You want some beads and some pots and pans? Here, take that. Take that. Give me all these virgins over here. Yeah, I need it. Nah, we got some work we doing over here. I'll bring it back. Behold these. You gotta exchange something, even if it's bullshit. And that's how they do. They don't care what it is. Like if you went to the store, right? If you went to the store, like I'm talking about a major store, like if you went to Target, right? And let's say, for whatever reason, let's say you saw a commercial, and the commercial was for you to buy nothing. It was just nothing, like you was just seeing just nothing on the shelves, and people was just going crazy, just jumping on it and just running to the counter, right? And people was buying nothing. Let's just look. There's people buying nothing now. Some of this, some of this stuff, people, you got people buying. People, how much they spent on that property in the metaverse? How much they spend on that property? That's what I'm saying. It's people buying nothing. But I guarantee you, if you went to Target and you bought nothing, they give you a bag for it. I guarantee it. They'll give you a bag to carry that nothing. Hey, listen. And the candy. So you gotta finish the deal with capitalism that way. You can't, the way how y'all thinking, like, yeah, you know, they're using our swag to market things, right? But they not really selling the swag, you know. See, the people that sell the swag, we gotta talk about that on the other channel. They're not ready for that on this channel. FGJ said the devil gives him nothing. Exactly. You understand what I mean? He knows it's nothing, but it's just something to make an exchange. You know, like how would you say it? Like, you know, in every state you learn your state history, right? You know, and the different things, you know, however y'all came into America or whatever. So that's the, like, when you go to school in New York, you learn that Peter Minuet, I think it was Peter Minuet, exchanged $24 worth of beads, pots, and pans with the Indians for the island of Manhattan. And I always wondered, was that $24 in 1621 money? Or $24? You know what I'm saying? That's it's a little bit of difference there. Now, Illuminati said, I get what you're saying. What I'm saying as a whole, with the outside world view us as intent to exploit us on oh man, I got people. You see, where's somebody get Inf Mega in here. Inf Mega got people hitting my channel. You know, my comments is been ringing all day. You know, he wants to do his he wants to get his filmmaking on. But you're saying that, but well, you're saying that the world exploits our style for money, right? And this is, you know, I understand the point that you're making, but what I'm saying is that that particular, see, in just in capitalism in general, right? Things have to be marketed. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, there's a lot of things that we buy, you know, that, you know, look, you know, bleach is bleach. But everybody gets the Clorox because, you know, whatever. But bleach is a chemical. You know, aspirin is a chemical that is just a certain compound. You know what I mean? So, uh, you know, that swag is definitely it's something that's used, but it's not really a marketable thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying something that is produced in Black America, right? In the way that, you know, Chinese food, you know, of course, we already discussed how the food that they have at the restaurant is not necessarily authentic. But, you know, Chinese food, you know, clearly comes from China. You know, Chinese people make it. Because in America, you know, that's what everybody's doing. Now, this Born makes a good point. We exploit our style for fame, and they sell it for money. Original people started businesses in 2021. I mean, they better. Like I said, it's just a matter of, like I said, you know, dealing, with what kind of, when they start those businesses, right? Here's a question. Are they starting those businesses to be at the foundation of their own civilization, or are they starting those businesses to help them to assimilate better into the mainstream civilization? See, because I think some of that is down at the fundamental of what is the difference between, the businesses and how we do things now, right, and the Reconstruction period. So, when, like, the way we talking right now, it's like, okay, well, why don't we just do Black Wall Street again? Why not? And I wasn't there, but my opinion is that being that they already, there was no question that they were not going to be allowed into the mainstream society. And so we have to build our own civilization. We have to build our own towns. Like, those are things where, listen, there's cities, you gotta remember, countries is from the 1700s, 1800s. Before that, the 1600s, Spain and all of them that we call them, Spain and France, that's the Spanish Empire and the French. That's not the Spain and the France nations that we know right now. I'm talking about the body politic. The people that they govern and the landmass that they govern in might be the same. You know what I'm saying? Before that, you had cities. You got cities like Troy, cities like Athens, cities like Sparta. And those cities are civilizations. So when you talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all these different towns. See, when you go in some of these older, like y'all was talking about Europe, you go in Italy, a lot of these places, right? And even some cities in America, there's like a old city that's in the center that was the original when they first founded it. And then over time it expanded out. So, those were actual civilizations that they created. Would the school be considered a city? No. The school is another anchor for us. It's another anchor for this culture. You know what I'm saying? In different times, the needs of the 5% was different. But it was always an anchor, to, facilitate people and keep people grounded in this culture. So, in this day and time, the level that we've advanced to, right? It's a, for worldwide now. It's an anchor. It's something where, you know, if you in Central America, South America, Europe, China, whatever, you can say, yo, you know, I'm gonna go by a law school, you know what I'm saying, and say peace to the gods and get some knowledge from the root. You know, but, you know, really, this is almost, I mean, this is the real world. This hard. But I'm saying, you know, this is almost like the UN. The cities out there. Out there. See, in here, you ain't, you know, well, let me not say that. You gotta say it with a grain of salt. But, you know, look, we're going, hypothetically, in here, you ain't got to teach. You ain't got to, you ain't got to be civilizing people according to the laws of supreme mathematics. You said currently the job market has more work than workers. Is that actual? Because see, sometimes these numbers are incomplete. And you know, there's a there's a thing in America, right, to label people as lazy that you don't want to pay money. So, you know, sometimes you see these things about all these jobs that's there, right? All these jobs that's around, but how much they paying? Like, have you ever considered that unemployment in the black community was pretty much zero during slavery? I mean, that's another time where, you know, the slave masters would say there's more work than workers, man. I can't find enough good. It's not funny. I can't, I can't, I can't find, I can't find enough people, man. You know what I'm saying? So you said you could get somebody jobs for $20 an hour. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that want that want. you, what's your contact information? I'm sure there's some people that want to get in touch with you. McDonald's, yeah, McDonald's paying 15. You know, but that's in New York. You know, well, I don't know where they paying that, but I'm saying, you know, in New York, that's still not. The wild thing is, you know, people that work at EMT don't make that much more than that. I always, that's one thing where it's like, you know, something is, you know, I don't know, you know, because see, something about how much you paying makes a difference in, something about how much you paying makes a difference in the quality of people that you get. So I don't know if I want people of similar quality people of similar quality to the people that make the burgers and fries, uh, coming to save my life. If it comes to that, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, but alright, Allah born. Thanks for that donation right there. District 120 said they raised the wage but lowered the hours like they were slick. Yeah, see now District 120, he works in store management. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of these things he has, first-hand knowledge on some of the games that they play. But see, all of these things, look, again, what is the meaning of civilization? See, the meaning of civilization is to, a civilization makes those kinds of provisions. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between, or, that's what, the term they use, white privilege, that is at the base of it, is that you live in a society where considerations for you is already being made, right, by the powers that be. So you don't have to think about them. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they babies, but when you're a child, at your house, the provisions for you to eat is being made. Like while you're out playing, your parents has already mapped this out. And I know he liked this right here, so let me get a pack of that. That's enough of that. Get some other. You understand what I'm saying? But when you building your own civilization, then what the meaning of civilization is you have to think of all of that on your own. God's favorite said it raised the cost of food. Yeah, I heard that inflation is at the highest rate it's been in like 30 or 40 years or something like that. So yeah, all of these is different things that, when you come down to it, this is the meaning of civilization. This is the meaning of he likes the devil because the devil gives him nothing. Except a position within the system of white supremacy that, that is comfortable enough. Yeah, EMTs, yeah, they get $18. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's kind of, and they was making 15. But just think about that. The next time, if anything happens and you need to, an ambulance has to come and get you, this like they're making that a job. Like you have to really want to save lives. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to think, and then a lot of times you hear on the news the condition there is not that good. And so just like somebody at McDonald's might cut corners because look, you only paying me $15, and it's hell to work here. True divine. Shaquille. But see, all of these is the things that these are the questions that you really got to be answering. See, the stuff on the paper, those are Elijah's answers. And our wise and civilized brother Elijah, he answered them very near correct. So we used them. But it's much more, expansion to be done on that. It's much more expansion to be done to really, you know, uh, answer the question of what is the meaning of civilization. It's not just the meaning of living in that situation, living in that civilization, or studying that civilization, right? What is the meaning of it is also what does it take to build and maintain that civilization. And see, without knowing the meaning of all of that, we find ourselves right here where, you know, like I said, we in this mainstream society where, is they make the decisions and we gotta live with them. Do you think society needs to be mentioned in the likes of building on civilization and culture? Well, all of these things is all of these things is, civilization, society, culture, they all describing, groups of men, women, and children, you know, that's coming together for a common cause. You know, I think that's kind of where the line is drawn. When you can have people amongst each other, but they don't have a common cause, so they not a society. But like I said, if you look at just historically, right, where that term kind of comes from, right, civilized, like the five civilized tribes, why was they civilized? Why was, Africa just the great, like kind of home of the uncivilized? Like, have you ever even heard the term? Like, have you heard the term like that? The Vikings were uncivilized. I never heard that. The most you might hear about a European civilization and culture is that they was backwards. Like they'll tell you that the Russian the Russian Empire was backwards. But have you ever heard of some Europeans being described as uncivilized? new people, I don't know if some of the people that's just coming in, you know, what we discussing, right? What we discussing is what is the meaning of civilization, right? Understanding that when we say that, right, that's what is the meaning of your civilization. You understand what I'm saying? See, without realizing that, they see this idea that it's going to be this one civilization and we all going to be the guys and everybody going to, that ain't going to happen. Not no time soon. See, in reality, you know, you're going to have societies of people, groups of people. You understand what I mean? A group of people is a small amount. A society of people is a large amount. Whether those be relationships, families, uh, you know, neighborhoods, whatever. And each of those people is going to have their individual culture. Like if you want to be romantic about it, then you could say, yeah, your culture is just the degrees. No, it's not. It's that fucked up shit you do too. It's all the shit. All of it's connected. You don't shit out nothing that you don't eat. Then, you know, we started going into, brothers were speaking on some, you know, we started speaking on some specific aspects of culture and some specific aspects of how people use their culture when they know what it is, right? And they're allowed to preserve it. See, some people don't want to allow the 5% to preserve our culture. See, some people don't know that that was the last lesson. See, like True Divine in the room right here, right now, that's the last lesson. The first lesson, shut the fuck up. That's how it was when I was shut the fuck. Not, you know, pardon me, God, pardon me, God. No. I don't even know why I got cut off there. I don't know why I got cut off, but what I was saying is that the first lesson is shut the fuck up. You have to be quiet so you can listen and learn. You got to slow down. You got to start to do the knowledge and not the wisdom. And you know what the last lesson was? The last thing a lot of people told us? The brothers that people hear them is just names to them. But listen, man, some of the last thing was, listen, give it just like you got it. Listen, don't change nothing. Because if you don't preserve your culture, right, and your culture is how you survive, then what's going to happen to you? You know what's going to happen to you? The Indians. Or whatever, the so-called Indians, whatever you want to call them. That's what's going to end up happening to you. See, they lost their culture. Not in the talking, you know, you rain dancing and shit like that. They lost the elements of their culture, how they survive. You can't even go off the reservation. So how you gonna hunt the wild animals that's going all over? I don't know about all of them, but I know some of them was migratory people, where in the wintertime they go in the south, in the summertime they go up in the north. There's more resources all over. If they can't do that, how they going to survive? If they don't know what their culture is, how do you start to build the foundations for the institutions that you need to really have a civilization, and not just be saying that, yo, it's some mutual masturbation shit where I walked up to you and said, today's math is knowledge, God. And then you said, true indeed, God. Yeah, we live this culture. See, even with that, if y'all just said that, like, see, look, the cipher was an institution. It is an institution. See, you going through there, you get the seeds that, you know, you need to go out and build. But these are the things that's missing. Why you keep saying, yo, why we can't take this step, why we can't take that step? Because it's first you gotta crawl. See, these different things, how do we translate? Yeah, it's ideas. All of these things start from ideas. They start from inspiration. And so, like I said, I agree with y'all. Yeah, we got that in spades. Ideas, inspiration, all of that. Yeah, we can get them all the swag in the world. But something still has to put that into activation. See, we all know people that, you know, without some type of activation, swag diminishes over time. Like if a dude just got mad swag, right? Like this is what I'm saying. You picture the dude in high school, right? That had mad swag. But then he never really got a job. He never really had a hustle that he that he could do without going to jail. So you got to put all that stuff into activation, man. You know what I'm saying? And that is the romanticism, right? And that we have to get out of our culture and the religion that we have to get out of ourselves. That, you know, we can't trade positive thinking. We can't trade positive thinking for prayer. You see what I'm saying? And we can't think that just quoting these lessons and dealing with these degrees is what we talking about building civilization. You understand what I mean? But just because if everybody on this live stream knew 120, that wouldn't be a law of world manifest. And see, when you start to go into those realms, right, it's a little bit harder to get sidetracked on some of this stuff. you're not going to get it sidetracked with a lot of this stuff because you realize that listen, it's way bigger fish to fry. These cats I've been noticing these y'all been taking the spammers out. Y'all been zapping the spammers I got moderators. But shout out to the spammers. I don't know why y'all came over here now. That was the good thing that what's her name was doing. Like if you got to take the best part out for yourself, right? That was one thing that Dr. York was doing that I had to agree with. You know what I'm saying? You know, there was a lot of aspects of it that I consider, is uncivilized. But just in terms of him, spending decades attempting to build a civilization. You know what I'm saying? From Medina, from when he was in Brooklyn, and they had I guess some buildings. You know what I'm saying? To going down to Georgia and building that. That's a different type of focus. That's a different type of focus. See, that takes an actual taking the devil off your planet. And I mean by that, just, see, right now, we value the same stuff they value. Like for all the swag that we talking about and style that black people have, yeah, you still got it with Gucci bags though, and Birkin or whatever. You still, kind of just, remixing whatever it is that they got out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your idea, right, of success? Like if what would be your kind of vanity project? Like, see, Elon Musk, he trying to go out of space. Like, if you had the money, what would you do? Would you buy a different color cars, a fleet of different color cars for every different city you go in? Would you buy a Birkin bag every day of the week? Would you get, a Bugatti? You understand what I'm saying? Et cetera, et cetera. Or would you say, nah, I'm gonna set something up where everybody gonna be able to eat? Right, Kyle Mills, I'm investing into the school. That's what I'm saying. Whatever it is. You might open a school in your area and say, all right, we're going to expand it out though. Where we're going to do from K to third grade. See, that is what is the meaning of this civilization. See, the American civilization is something else. It's something else. It don't got to do with culture and refinement. That's what he's asking him. Is when what is the meaning of civilization? What you mean by that? You mean like Greek civilization? Where they do a whole bunch of stuff that we ain't down with. We talking about Roman civilization? What you talking about? Ancient Cushitic civilization? You talking about Hindu civilization? What are you talking about? So then he laid out what his civilization is. We need more than a school. We need to see how we can get our own land, home, school, etc., and be our own nation, like the Indians got it to a degree. Listen, that's what I'm saying. What is the meaning of your civilization? Like you can have any civilization. It's different civilization. They did different things. Sun worshippers, moon worshippers, rock worshippers, etc., etc. See, that's how you don't get caught up. That's how you know exactly what it is you're supposed to be doing and what exactly it is you're supposed to be living out. So if that's the meaning of your civilization, right? If you're saying, yo, the meaning of my civilization, I want to get this land and do this stuff with it, right? All right, then why you doing all this other stuff? So indeed, the knowledge and the ideas is included. The knowledge and the ideas is first. That's what we said. But listen, never forget, man, that still got to go 2 to 9 to make a cipher. You said, that's why you said invest in the school of Mecca. Yeah, but see, Mecca is where you make it. Don't get me wrong. This is the intergalactic headquarters of the 5%. So yeah, we all, have some kind of duty to make sure things are going right here. But see, we've got to teach the world, Craig. The world. And we can't do that with everybody standing over here on the corner. There's not enough space on the corner over here. That is the meaning of this civilization. You got to go out there and teach. Out there. See, these are the different things that's not in the degrees. When people say, who is the 5%, and you see it in the degrees, that's what you're thinking. But like I said, it says also civilized people. Okay, what is the meaning of that? Because I heard you say a minute ago that the 85% was the uncivilized people. Yeah, speaking of that, man, I got some stuff. I'm gonna be hitting some of y'all up. I got some things that's let me see something for a second here. Yeah, let me get up out of here. My battery is on the way out. So we about to take it now. I need to get some rest anyway. You know what I'm saying? But keep in mind, right, that these degrees in general, and this one in specific, right, is generalized. You see, when something is made for everybody, it can't be specific. It can't be, that's one of the problems with the education system. Is that it's too general to deal with people that have individual learning capacities. That's the difference between a big class size and a small class size. It's now the teacher got more time and space and energy to deal with each individual's capacity. Yeah, I got some things. I got to talk about it, but I'm gonna need some people. Uh, you know, it might be some ways, man, that we could do some outreach. You know what I'm saying, to the youth. You know, it's a little bit complex. It got introduced to me today. I didn't get as deeply into it. Uh, See, whenever I'm getting off, I notice y'all do this. Somebody always puts something in the comments. Somebody always puts something in the comments. You said, in regards to China launching a sun, funny thing is, I can't figure out is how was their replica 5 times hotter than our natural sun and nobody burnt up? Nobody felt that heat really. So you gotta realize, in China, sometimes the Chinese scientists embellish. Sometimes. I'm not saying, all their science is fake, but sometimes they embellish a little bit. Jay, where you from, Jay? But yeah, just wrapping it up the way it's just, this is what you really got to do, man. This is how you know. See, like I said, being a 5%, if you want to go by the paper, if that's go ahead. But don't think we going by the paper. And everybody out there who thought we was going by the paper, step your study game up. Are you from Patterson? Are you right there? I mean, you gotta come to the class. The classes, people done got a little bit too used to this internet, man. I might have to cut y'all off for a couple months or something, so y'all can realize you gotta come to the spot. You know what I'm saying? But Patterson, you ain't that far. You could map it out. You could map it out a day, and you come here and be at the class. See what I mean? Because, see, like I told you, uh, you know, this right here, this is just a sliver of time. Like, yeah, we do this fairly frequently. But, it's not like every day, man. It's not like every day. Like I'm talking about, you know, you wake up in the morning, right, and you go to the guy's crib. And when you get over there, that's what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Push-ups. We're gonna go to the park, hit some pull-ups, dips, and we're gonna study. And we're gonna build. And then once our sword is sharp, we hit the streets. We looking for we looking for whoever is not on point. Oh yeah, natural in the building. Yeah, natural. A lot of people from Patterson be in the room here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the guy, man. Knowledge, man. That's man. I'm still. I still ain't even get. It somehow it ain't sink in yet. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Peace to knowledge, man. That was another strong builder right there, man. That we lost him too, man. In the last, couple years, recent times, man. It's been, you know, we can't even keep track right now. We can't even keep track. Knowledge that was from Patterson. Used to be with the guy Understanding that moved down south. But they used to come out here, come to the classes. The guy told me one of the funniest stories. The guy told me one of the funniest stories. We leave out with this story. The guy was saying that the first time that he came to the class, that they was sitting there and they was waiting for the teacher to come in, right? So he said, I walked in, so uh, from my perspective, I walk in and it's these brothers there that I don't know, right? So I came in. I was like, yo, peace, guy. What's your name? Where you from? You know 120? Boom, boom. So I go down. So he said, yo, because I don't even recall. I don't even recall it happening. So he said, yo. He's like, yo, you know 120? So I said, yeah, right. But then he said, after I said yeah, I just went on and started building. And he said it was like 20 or 30 minutes where he's like, yo, wait a minute. This brother's a teacher? And that's I still, man, I think I might still was a teenager when I first started. Life of Law was a science. I heard from Life see, Life is a good brother to build with these types of things, right? If any of y'all is not in tune with Life, he gives out his number and tells anybody, man, if you're interested in knowing things about this culture, to get in contact with him. You know what I'm saying? But Life, uh, you know, he has a keen understanding, right, on what is the meaning of civilization. Like I said, not just from the paper, right, but what does it mean to establish and maintain a civilization, including all institutions, right, that it takes to be the pillars to uphold that civilization and preserve it, right? Because you're making a system. A culture is a kind of system to transmit knowledge and resources over time and space. You see what I'm saying? So, right now, here in America, right, people have done things to preserve America for their children and grandchildren or whatever, and that's why people is here right now. You know, whether you agree or disagree with those things, right, is another story. The point is looking at it and understanding, building your civilization and what it really means, what your civilization really is. You see, because we could get caught up in this talking, right? We could get caught up in this talking and thinking that just because we use certain terms and we refer to the black man or the black woman, that that's what is the meaning of civilization. You see, all of that could be a band-aid. All that could be perfume. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Because we got issues that come from outside, right? But we also got to deal with the issues that's on the inside, because the issues that's on the inside make the issues on the outside worse. Sometimes the issues on the outside is not even issues, right? If things is right and exact on the inside. And what that means is we have to be building our civilization and being active with it so people know what it is that we about. See, like right now, right? If somebody tell you, look, I went to McDonald's and got some oysters, people will look at you funny. Like, wait a minute, they got me. I ain't never known McDonald's to have no oysters. That's because McDonald's is active with the science that they deal with. See, we supposed to be so active with the science that we teach is the sun, moon, and star, that if a person come and say something other than that, they would say, nah, that don't sound like 5% science to me. Nah, I know the guys, I ain't never heard them talking like that. Yeah, complete. That's how far off some things that people say about our culture is. It's like you saying McDonald's selling oysters.